Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in this video I will be teaching you about the logical operators in Excel. So the logical operators are nothing but this sum, if, nested if and if and or and if and not formulas. So based on this data we have here, we will be uh, doing the sum and if and nested if formulas. We will be solving the formulas one by one based on the criteria we have. So let's get started with the first of criteria for the sum formula. So here I have given the criteria for each of the formulas. Let's start with the sum formula first. So the criteria is to calculate total marks of all subjects, right? So these are the subjects we have in the data. So we need to calculate the total marks for each of the subject, right? So let's get started with the sum formula first. Whenever we are writing any formula, we need to start the formula with equal to sign, right? Is equal to sum of number 1 to from D10 to G10 with the sum formula, right? Because we want to calculate the total marks for all these four subjects. So now hit enter. Now double click on this small square button. You will get the remaining marks for the students. Right, so this is how we do the sum formula, right? Now let's move on to the if formula. So let's check the criteria for a if. Check if student passed in maths. Criteria should score at least 35 marks. So we need to check the marks of each student and let's see if the marks are above 35. If they are above 35, it should be named as pass. If not, fail. Right? So let's write the if formula here. Is equal to if. So open bracket. The logical test will be this one. Right? Now greater than 35. Greater than equal to 35. Comma. Value if true should be pass. Value if false should be fail, right? So whenever we are writing any text in the formula, we should always use this double quotations, or else Excel will not recognize this as a text, right? So uh, right now, after hitting enter, let's double click on this and see if this is working or not. So below 35 has got failed and 35 is passed because we are using greater than or equal to symbol sign here, right? Because of that, even 35, whoever student got 35 has passed. So below 35 will be failed, right? So now this is the if formula is also working. This is how we can do that. Now let's once again do this same formula for another subject, which is OC. Now once again start with if, open bracket, logical test will be this one, and greater than or equal to 35, and the value if true will be pass, the value if false will be fail, right? Oh, right. Now let's double click on this, right? So 21 is below 35, right? So this got failed, and this one also got failed, right? And this one also. So this is how we do the if formula. Now let's move on to the nested if formula. So let's check the criteria. So if the student scored above 300, term it as excellent. Below 300 but 200, below 300 but above 200, term it average. Below 200 needs improvement, right? So for your understanding, I have written the formula here. So based on this criteria, let's write the formula for nested if. So nested if is nothing but in one formula we can have multiple if condition, right? Let's start that. Open bracket. So for this our condition will be logical test will be this one marks. right, greater than 300, then the value will be excellent, right? Now once again I'm using the if condition once again here, because this is called nested if, right? So we can use multiple ifs. Now the logical test will be again this one, uh, greater than 200, equal to 200, value will be average. If false, the value will be needs improvement, right? Okay. Now close the bracket, and now let's double click on this and see if the formula has worked or not. Now the marks above 200 to 300 will be marked as average. The marks which are below 200 will be marked as needs improvement, right? So that is what the criteria was, right? So this is also marked as needs improvement. And now this one is marked as excellent, because the marks are above 300, right? So whoever student got the marks above 300 will be marked as excellent. So this is how we can use the nested if formula. I hope you understood this formula, right? Uh, Now the next one is if and and. So before understanding the if and, first we need to understand the difference between and, or formulas, right? So let's understand the difference between and or, right? To understand this difference, once again let's use the and formula is equal to a and b, and before that we are using this data here to define the and this or formulas, right? To mainly know the difference between these two, so we are using these values. So let's start with and equal to logical one is this one excel is equal to value should be equal to excel, right? Now logical 2. So here once again whenever you are using any comma, the logical will be increased. Whenever I increase the commas, the logical values will get increased, right? Right. Now let's move to logical 2, which is 15. So logical 15, right? So it should be greater than 10, right? Now logical 3 is 1000 is equal to 1000, right? Close the bracket and hit enter. So the value is true. Now let's see the OR formula here. Is equal to OR. Again, let's use the same logics here as well. L4 is equal to Excel. So the value is Excel. Because it is a text, I am using this double quotations. Now let's take the logical 2, which is greater than 10. Let's take the logical 3, which is equal to 1000. Let's close the bracket, hit enter. Now it seems that both this and or formulas are same, right? Because we got the values as true, but there is a difference between these both two. Let's see what is the difference. So if I change this value from 10 to 16, the value will be changed to false. But if I change this value in the OR condition, if I change the value from 10 to 16, suppose, then the value will be true, right? Why is that happening? Because in the AND formula, everything need to be true. This condition need to be true, this condition need to be true, and this condition need to be true, right? Everything need to be true here. Then only we will get, then only the AND condition will work. In this case, any one can be true. Either this can be true, this can be true, or this can be true, right? So that is the main difference between and or formula. So in here, because why it should display false, because this condition did not match, right? Once again, if I revert it back to 10, it will again sorry, here the condition got changed. If I revert, suppose once again if I make it 16, it will display as false because only this excel and this criteria have matched, this did not match. Because of that, it has given as false. Now if I revert it back to once again 10, it will give me true. But in this case, if any of this, suppose let's make it 10 once again. In this case, if I make this as, if I remove this 1000 and make it 100, even then the value will be true because the first two conditions are meeting the criteria, right? So Excel is matching this criteria, and greater than 10 values matching this criteria, right? So both the criteria are true and this one is false, right? So in the or, any one criteria should be matched, that's enough. But in and, all the criteria should be true, right? So that is the main difference between and or. Now let's move on to this one, if and criteria. Now let's check the condition for this if and. So this is the condition. So if student is from Kingston and is doing masters, call him Kingstonite, right? So the criteria is, if the student is from Kingston and doing masters, call him Kingstonite. So for us, we need to take these two associations now. We need to take the reference of these two cells now, right? Right. If the student is from Kingston and doing masters, call him Kingstonite. Right. Let's type the formula. If open bracket and logical test will be this one, is equal to Kingston and comma, and the next logical test will be is equal to masters, right? Close the bracket, comma. If the value is true, then we need to name it as Kingstonite, right? If the value is false, then not a Kingstonite, right? That's how the condition works. Now let's hit enter and check if this formula has worked or not. So, what was the condition? If the student is from Kingston and has got master degree, then he should be from Kingstonite. If not, he is not a Kingstonite, right? So let's check these values first. So not a Kingstonite, because the even the college is Kingstonite, but the degree is not masters, right? Now let's check this one, because the student is from Kingstonite and has a master degree, he is named as Kingstonite. So now let's check this two as well. So once again, Kingston and masters, right? So now we successfully created this criteria, if and. So let me do it once again for you. What I'm doing here, first I'm starting the formula with if and inserting the and here, because we have criteria between Kingston and masters, right? So for the first criteria will be, if the student is from Kingston, double quotations, comma, and the second reference is, if the student is from masters, equal to double quotations masters, right? Close the bracket. Now if the both these conditions are true, then the value will be Kingstonite, right? If the both the values are false, then the value will be not a Kingstonite, right? So that was the condition, right? Now double click on this and see. Now we got the criteria. So Kingston and Masters is Kingstonite. So again, once again here, Kingston and Masters both are from Kingstonite. Both are marked as Kingstonite, right? Now let's look at if and or formula. So let's check the criteria here. If student is from Harvard or Oxford, he is from Ivy League University, right? Once again, let's look this. But here we have or formula, not and, right? So that is the main difference here. So let's start once again with if formula. If use the or formula and take the logical conditions. So here the logical condition will be what was the logical condition? So the logical condition was Harvard and Oxford, right? So let's start again. Open bracket or logical condition. Let's take this one. That is first logical condition is Harvard, comma. Again, let's choose this and take the logical condition as Oxford. Full quotation. Close the bracket. If these two are, if both these conditions matches and if they are true, then the value will be EV leak. That was the value that should be assigned. If the both this condition doesn't match, then the value will be not EV leak, right? This is a condition here. Close the bracket and let's see if this has worked or not. Double click on this and see. Let's see here. So what was the condition? If if the student is from Harvard or Oxford, he should be from Ivy League University. So the student is from Oxford, right? So he is marked as he is from Ivy League. So this student is not from Oxford or Harvard. He is from Kingston, right? So he is marked as not Ivy League, right? He is from North Ivy League University. Now let's check this third one. So he is from Oxford, so he is marked as Ivy League. And now let's check this Harvard one. So he should be marked as Ivy League, right? So that is how we can use this if plus or condition. Now let's move on to the last one, which is if and not. So in this case, which is like quite opposite to the if and or, here we need to use the not condition. So what is the criteria here? If student is from Harvard or Oxford, he is from Ivy League. Use formula not to get the same result as previous column. So here also we will be getting the same result, but the condition will be not, right? So once again start with is. In the place of or, we should be using not, right? So what is the logical test here? What is the logical test? So here we need to using if not. Logical test is the college value, college column, and here the logical test will be right. So once again I'm writing the formula. If not, let's select the logical test here, which is if not Kingston, right? Kingston then the value will be what will be the value? EV leak. Let's write in double quotation EV leak. If false, the value will be not EV leak. Right? Close the bracket and hit enter. So double click on this and you will get both these results as same, right? Because both the criterias are same. It's just that here we are using the or condition, here we are using the not condition. So in this formula we initially used the not condition and defined that if the student is not Kingston, then the value should be EV league. If not, if the value is false, it should be not EV league, right? So that is how we can use the not condition here. So this is how we can use the logical operators formulas in Excel. I hope you understood the formulas here which we used. So if you have any questions or queries, comment below. I will reply to your answers. Thanks for watching.